Welcome into the party of all parties. It's so rare in the States. We have the whole MLS roundtable for today. It is one heck of a day. We got the MLS prize pools. We got the card drop date. Whole lot of things going on. The internet's going crazy. Twitter's blowing up. I stayed off of it for a reason. And as you can see, Chris, the MLS card guy, is here himself, and he is not happy. We are totally going to get into it. Alex is here. Poor RIP Classic. ZM Star is popping in from I don't know where. Thomas is being awesome. He's thinking about some numbers. And Daniel Brubaker himself, the legend of MLS Sicko Time, is here. We got a lot to get into, so we're going to hop straight into it. But first, shout out to Javik, who was in here first. Bob Franklin coming in. Hoodwink in the house. Good evenings. Red or Dead. Yeah, that's right, baby. We got a lineup tonight. There's a lot of words that need to be said.
The first thing that we need to say, though, is we are giving away a Messi when we hit 1,000. So y'all better hit that subscribe button right now. Create some fake accounts. We don't care how you do it. We need to get this Messi out of here preseason before the prices tank. So let's go. Let's get this done.
Because apparently Classic is dead. Yeah, there are a lot of motions flying by. So we're going to go one by one, give some quick hits, and then we'll hop into this little news drop. And then one by one, we'll get through it. So let's start with ZM Star. We don't know how long we have you. You are out here traveling the world. Initial reactions. How do you feel about this MLS drop?
So I just read it briefly before I got on a plane. So, I don't know. Not great, I guess. Like the classic stuff. I mean, I guess like cutting out T4s and T5, they're 3 through 5, basically, right? Is what they've cut out. So
2 through 5.
2 through 5, yeah. So I mean, like, there's going to be a lot of crap on the market because if they're not giving it away, there's just crap on the market all day long. So I mean, expect those prices to be, bottom of the barrel. But you can't win with them most likely anyway in the in-season stuff. In-season wise, I don't know. The targets seem kind of fun. Maybe a little outrageous. Only time will tell, depending on XP. But I don't know. Seemed all right.
It was all right. It's a lot of unknown yet still. Alex, over there in the top corner, how are we feeling over here?
I am not happy about the classic pools. I think that although Essence is cool and all, I like winning those shittier guys, like those lower guys, because they can lead to collection bonuses, and it gives me a reason to not go out there and buy them on my own. Although they will be cheap, it kind of just helpfully accumulates. And it also is going to be very hard to win cards then and win high rewards. With Rare not even having star rewards like that, I don't like. And I think that, especially with all the Rare MLS Classic that we've been diving into, it kind of just falls flat. But I think the in-season stuff is incredible. Like, I think some of that stuff is awesome. We're getting like a bunch of unique things that we're going to go over in a bit. But it's just like basically making everybody buy into in-season, which I think will make prices rise even more than I think they already were going to, even though we knew that they were going to be really high. I think it's going to be even more.
Interesting. Yeah, shout out Mike Baston. Seemed a little let down after the hype, but that's how it is. They give us this news early. We speculate. We think of everything that it could be, and it never is. We already know. Daniel, Mr. Sickle Time himself, always has a plan, always has a strategy. How do you feel now that we have the results and all the answers?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to be ready for whatever happened because there's going to be a good way of doing it, a cost-efficient way of doing it, hopefully. But yeah, the prize pools do, like people showed that it was low on other streams today, but I really don't think you can judge whether it's a good or bad thing until we see how the first 2-3 weeks of auctions go. Then you can make a true assessment of, did I have to overpay to start early? Because I want to figure out a way to start before week 1.
There you go. We have it. Good thing we have a couple weeks, 2 weeks, a week and a half before the season starts to get these early season cards in. Thomas, I got to come to you because we got to let Chris go last here. So Thomas, how are we feeling? I know you're already digging in some numbers, crunching some things I don't understand. How are we doing?
I think there's some things I would like to see them improve upon. I think most notably was the bottom of the prize pools for Rare, so where you get the participation essence. I feel like that needs to be upped a little bit just to allow people to get the ability to craft more of those tier 4s and tier 5s, because Otherwise, I'm not sure if they'll actually hit that number. I forget what the exact number is, where they're trying to give away a certain number of cards every season. But we could talk about this after everyone's had their turn. I do think there should be a lot more smiles than frowns, at least in the limited and rare area. I don't know about super rare. I don't know about unique because I just don't play those.
Yeah, a little hard to judge up there, but it was very tempting when those super rare prices were very, very low. So a little risk reward, you know what you were getting into. Chris,
hold on, before Chris, real quick. The days of T5 roulette is completely over now because it's going to be oversaturated in that pool. So don't rip at T5 anymore.
hey, but maybe if we're lucky, everybody would just rip through the T5s and all that'll be left is the good stuff, you know what I'm saying? Come on now. Come on. All righty, Chris, the MLS card guy. How we feeling?
I feel like trash. I'm not going to lie. I feel, I don't know. I don't, this makes me question the direction that we're going to go moving forward. Like, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse for Classic. It's going to keep getting better and better and better in season. And so we're just going to force you to buy a brand new team every single year. And this is how they're going to just milk the cash. So the difference between an in-season and a Classic is going to be astronomical. And it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as we go. When we first switched to this, it was you use old seasons to win in seasons, use in seasons to win cash. You can't really even win in seasons anymore. Like, the amount of essence is just, it's not enough. Super rare, like the golden goal thing, 600 points is outrageous. That's a high number. Even with scarcity bonuses, like, that's a high number. It's literally, can anyone in the entire world even hit this number? And if not, then we add more to the pot. Like, we don't think anyone's going to hit this every single week. So golden goal super rares is insane. Yeah, I'm definitely not happy. Like, the in season, like the hot streaks are all in season. Everything is in season. Everything that they released is in season. So if you have Classic, you just don't use those anymore. You just eat them, you know? So you're buying a card for one season and you better get that return in one season or else it's not worth it.
And listen, and I'll say this, like, we were already playing for boxes that had essence in it anyway. All they did was take away the boxes. So realistically, it kind of almost ends up the same. And yeah, like, I'll kind of... No, go ahead.
They just stabilize the amount of essence you get on a weekly basis so that, you know, you're not in D1 and you rip a box open and it's one essence.
Yeah. So, and like, here's my initial take on this, right? And it's... So when Essence first came out, they overdid it, released too much Essence, had to dial it back. That completely killed the community sentiment. It took all the fun away. Nobody was happy anymore. It almost, like, to me, this looks like them learning from their mistakes, going, we can't roll something back again and make it worse because they're just going to double down on a mistake and they can't do it. With this going, look, I know, especially on this show and other people, like real MLS sickos, were hyped on this, we're stoked, like, this was incredible. But the realistic expectations from Sorare is they don't know how many people are actually going to come over and focus on this MLS comp. As much as we wanted to compare it to La Liga or the Prem or the Bundesliga, just the realistic thing is that it's not. So I could almost see Sorare taking, like, a very, like, quiet, like, softer approach, going like, hey, let's kind of, like, test the water, see how much we sell in season initially, how much money they raise, and then, hey, if it goes great, if people really degen into MLS and obviously the money comes in, then hey, maybe they could add a little bit more. Maybe they could expand the prize pools. But them just coming out big with a bang, just trying to get everybody in with this big number and then having to dial it back when eventually they get their math wrong. Not saying they've done it before, but, you know. So it's one of those things where, hey, maybe it is just like a, hey, test the waters. But it's like that, like, chicken and an egg thing where it's like, if they don't have the money, no one's going to come in. But then is it going to make enough money with just MLS sickos to really push it to another level? That's kind of where my head's at. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But that's why we're all here to talk about it.
So if you finish on the podium in Super Rare, in the only division in Classic, you get a tier 4, maybe. Maybe you get a little higher because there is the chance that you get more, but you get enough essence for a T4. It's crazy.
Isn't that what we were already doing though?
Crazy.
All right. Would you have preferred the MLS State and Challenger? Okay, bye, Zach.
He's out. I mean, I'm kind of fine with it being on its own to some degree. Because it is, I think the reason, at least that they laid out, of just why they were moving it on its own, it's a different league than a lot of the other challenger leagues where it's not top heavy. There is no real dominant stack generally. Like the teams switch up so much year to year, and there's so many teams that it can kind of sustain being on its own. So I'm not upset that they're moving it to its own thing. I think it's more the shift, and to be fair, this is not this one drop that I'm upset about. It's just the overall trend that I keep seeing us put more and more into in-season and less into Classic. And eventually we're just buying cards for a year. And that's all you have is just that one in-season. And once it's not in-season, it's worthless.
That is the model.
Do you
now.
think that?
Like I was talking with Alex this week, and I 100% believe they have an economist on staff who has gone through and said, here is how you maximize your auction market every single year. You create a bunch of special edition cards that have very limited utility, but just get the market to degen. And they're trying to maximize their profit from in-season cards every single season. And that's going to be it going forward.
Right, but you can't bleed the golden goose. Like, if you take too much and you go too hard in that direction, people are going to leave, which is kind of where I'm at right now, is kind of questioning if I want to still be in this space or not. But yeah, I think it's the overall trend that's concerning to me. And I'm coming hard and heavy. So you guys can push back on this and come at me. But
so let me ask this though. It seems like you're most upset about super rare. Because a lot of what you
I went more into rare.
Super rare.
Yeah, I went more into rare. I think super rare really did like first or second in super rare. Like there's only two teams that are going to really win anything.
Yeah.
And you got to be like consistently in the top 5 to even really craft anything. Like how long is it going to take you to get 10 essence at super rare and get to like a T3? You got to do that 10 times in a season. And that's like 6th through 10th. So it's not, I mean, that's not a lot of people that are going to be crafting super rares. So like essence is fine if it's at a limited level or a rare level where you're going to get like multiple lineups a week, but you can't just have one super rare lineup and realistically get anything back out of it. You got to be pumping 6, 7, 8 super rare lineups and getting 2 of those top 10s a week in order to realistically rack up enough essence to actually use it. Yeah, and it's the same at lower levels, but it's just easier at lower levels to have 8 lineups or 10 lineups.
There's a lower cost threshold.
Right. But when you're talking about a goalkeeper being $150 just to get in, and you need 8 of those, like that's a significant investment. And how many super rares are you really going to craft, even if you have 8 lineups that are pumping essence? So yeah, I mean, super rare is just a higher example because the cost is a little bit higher. I think rare. I think the way to play this game moving forward is forget the Pooches, forget the Lucho Acostas, forget the big players. Get as cheap a player as you can and enter as many lineups as you can. Enter every single lineup with just dirt crap and just hope you get lucky. And don't spend any money on any of the big guys ever.
Isn't that what we were all doing in the beginning?
Yeah.
Cap 240.
Yeah.
Cap 240,
that's Cap 240. It's going back. Yeah, it's buy lucky. Crap, hit the minimum, get lucky sometimes. But yeah, that's what it is. Because like top 20% get some essence, so just hit 20% as often as humanly possible, and just put a very low investment in there. Because like the difference between 20% and 10th, in super rare is 7 essence total. But it's going to be so much easier to be in the top 20% than it is to be 10.
I mean, I get what you say about the super rare essence, but in limited and rare, you could win 100 essence with one lineup.
You could if you finish in the top 10 out of in rare Division 1. If you finish in the top 10, It's going to be really hard to finish in the top 10, though. Like, there's more than 10 Pujas and Acostas, and I get Pujas hurt, but there's more than 10 of those guys. There's going to be 10 OP lineups that are going to hit every week, you know? You kind of need that, like, guy that nobody else is playing that bangs 100. And some of those other guys
that's
go
always
down.
been the case, right? Like, you can't just play typical complete meta and just think you're going to win because there's someone else that's playing that.
Yeah.
Whatever, Blake, Wagner, Puj, Boanga,
Enrique.
Right.
Cucho, whoever, right? Like, there's someone else is playing that exact lineup most likely. And so you do have to always have someone that differentiates. I mean, they call in EPL fantasy differential, right? Differential if you want to have the best EPL score. So that's no different strategy than what I think some of the people that
but
do better.
In the past, you could go chalk with all good players and consistently be like top 10% or so. And then you could grind out stuff. But like, you can't grind out anything in the top 10% at this point.
What, for super rare or for rare?
For rare.
I disagree.
How many lineups do you need to be hitting top 20% consistently? Like, every week, how many do you need to really rack it up?
Do you want to bring up the numbers?
Yeah. Do you have them, or do you want me to pull them?
Yeah, I got them.
I got them here.
I got the spreadsheet up, so we can, if we need to do some ad hoc math.
Also, shout out to Boston Sean in here. Who else haven't I shouted out yet? Jay Blaze in here. Smash that like, y'all. Always has our back. Dang, you guys are writing poems in this chat today. I love it. That's how you know you guys are passionate. We got opinions coming in today. Deke is in here too. You'll love to see it.
Let's go to the before times when Essence didn't exist. It was July 12th through 16th of the 2024. It was Challenger, but it was an MLS only weekend. And I was curious what the breakdown for the top division was. And you were talking about this where only the top 30 lineups, and mind you, there are 4 divisions here, but only the top 30 lineups, were actually getting a card in this division. Otherwise, you got your box, which had a 95% chance at a level up, which was horrendous. I hated boxes. I thought they were the worst thing ever at that point in time until they added Essence, which happened once they brought in the new European season. So I sort of just grabbed out all these numbers to figure out what was the distribution of rewards for the pre-Essence summer example. And actually, that should be 3. Just realized I discounted. So this is rare. And so if you look at it, they were giving out the exact same number of stars that they're going to be giving out now. Actually, sorry, I lied. They're giving out more stars now than they were last summer when it was Challenger and MLS only. So it's already one thing they're doing more of. They're giving out, but they are giving out less tier 1s, tier 2s, tier 3s, tier 4s, tier 5s. You might be saying, well, they're not giving out tier 5s. They're giving out tier 5 pluses. I use the crafting percentages to calculate, like, on an average week based on the percentages, how many tier 5s do you think people are going to craft versus et cetera, et cetera. So I will say that the end of it is smaller if you look at this on a week-to-week basis, but people are going to be accumulating Essence and they're going to be able to craft more and more. And you're still getting, I think, a decent chunk of cards at the top, at least for tier 1s and stars. You're still getting 20% of your, I call them the participation medals, where that's the 5 Essence. I do think they need to up that. I'd like to see that be like 8 Essence. So what's the half chub? 10 Essence is a half chub. 8 Essence would be the participation medal. 5 Essence is the worst participation medal, and like 3 Essence is the worstest. So I'd like to see them up that amount a little bit, just because I do think 5 still feels a little bit low, but I do think that you're still getting a decent amount of rewards on a weekly basis.
So you're
getting
saying we went from
20%.
173 total rewards to 69 total rewards. There's somewhat similar at the top, but the bottom is just completely gone.
Yeah, they've like gotten rid of
They
the bottom.
nerfed the bottom. Yeah, they completely nerfed the bottom.
Which how
but didn't give us any more at the top.
You can't.
They gave
win with
us
the
they
bottom
gave us
cards.
one more star. They give us one more star every week. So 40 more stars rewarded.
I mean, if you want to say it's as a
Assuming it's
percentage, I
40
guess that's
game
fine. But
weeks.
it's one more card. Yeah, I think this is just kind of the trend, though. Is it just continues to get harder and harder? Like when it first came out, it was use old season cards to win new season cards. You can't win new season cards, whether you can win with them or not. You can't really.
You could just choose to not craft them immediately. And this is what I like, is that I like that I don't have to get a tier 3 on a week where I know the pool is just absolutely blasted.
Right.
I mean, think about
you can have a little more strategy with when you go and what you go for, which fine, but that doesn't justify taking 2/3 of the cards out of the pool.
Which is why I do agree they need to up the amount that's been at the bottom.
Right.
I do think they need to up that amount. Hopefully they look at the numbers and they say, yeah, we're not giving out enough cards, because they do have a portion they're committing every season. I think it's like 20% of the supply? I might be making this number. I'll pull it out.
40?
Yeah. So here's
60,
another
40.
question. This is not Challenger anymore. You're not winning Challenger cards. Are the stars worth less? Are the tier 1s worth less? Are the tier 2s worth less? Like, that's another question I think needs answered.
But it
Depends
kind
on
of
how
Daniel
people
touched on that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Where it comes to the hot streak thing, where it's like there is incentive to have stars now, because if you want to hit up the what is it, 480 is the top fifth one where you could win $100 in limited, or what is it, 400 in rare. Like in order to get there, you're gonna need those smashers in season. So like it's almost one of those things where you start off, you maybe get one smasher, you get some cheapo in season limited guys, while also grinding classic in hopes that you can grind that, and then grind the essence in classic, and then get those smashers in season that you can't afford. It's going to come
by the
down.
time you've grinded in classic, the season's half over and you can't use them in season anymore. Like there's
not if you're good at the video game.
So much less incentive to craft anything in the second half of the season. Like those cards are they're basically worthless. They're going from, they're going to drop by 3x instead of dropping by 2x, So the quicker they drop, the more they drop over the same amount of time. They're just going to drop really, really quick. So unless you have them at the beginning, like you can't grind because you need them at the beginning in order to grind the end season. You know what I mean?
And so here's the thing, and maybe this
problem.
is the difference, because, and Thomas kind of mentioned it in one of our chats, is that it's very similar to what basketball is now. Basketball has very much become an essence grinding game, because ever since they reduced the scarcities in season 2, it was incredibly hard to win rewards. It was very top heavy. It was hard to get in there, and we've been grinding essence. In NBA, just playing classic, I've been a classic stan. I bought a little bit of in season, but I didn't go too hard. I managed to build up the 400 essence to pull a tier 1 within like a month and a half. That's still not that bad, especially when you're playing football, when it's only one game a week. That's like 6 games out of the 30, 32 that they play a season. Like that's not bad. And especially if you're saving up a month and a half to get that star with essence from playing classic while you're filling out the rest and undervalued, overlooked players that you can bring in, because we're all degens. We're all looking at the market every day. It almost ends up like my in season in NBA now is way stronger due to essence and everything that I did over there winning classic than what I actually put in. I put in the little streamer guys, the little sneaky plays of the week in season for cheap, and then saved up my essence and then filled up my smashers that way. So like it's basically, maybe for me, I'm not as concerned because I've already been doing it for a couple months, and it's new for football and change is scary. But we've been playing for essence anyway. They're just not in boxes and the animation isn't as fun. But I do agree that them taking the cards out of the prize pool just feels bad. Like regardless of what it is.
You've won it. You've won it tier 3. Taking the bottom out a little bit, sure. But to be honest, like I'd prefer not to get the tier 5 MLS card. I prefer to just save up and craft for a tier 3 plus.
Yeah, they've said that stars will be stars, and if I got a T3 every week, I would have no stars. Now, if I'm patient, I can get some, not free stars, but that's what I was about to say.
Alex, how you feeling over there, buddy?
He looks
I mean,
He looks
I'm-
sad. He looks defeated.
defeated.
Your life's
No.
classic.
it's just a mix of like I don't know how to feel because like I see the positives of the essence and I think that can be fun, but then again, I'm not a patient guy. So like
This new generation.
yeah, I think that a lot of people are like that. And so yeah, it's also just like I've said this. If you've talked with me personally in any sort of chat or any sort of Twitter comments or anything within the past 2 weeks, you know that I'm dreading this MLS card drop because I'm scared of what the prices are going to be because I know I'm going to have to go after sporting guys and people are going to be like, oh, it's a sneaky team to go for. We're not good. So like I'm paying for not winning anything. But like
I'm right there with you.
people are like, oh, do you know, sporting, they got Jovic. Like they could be sneaky. It's like, we're not good.
With what service?
Tommy
Yeah.
actually didn't look too bad in the preseason game, but like
Tommy's a decent player.
that's the thing. And like seeing this come up and knowing that they are steering everybody to in season, they're basically saying anybody that wants to play MLS that maybe isn't a fan that's coming in to just like play MLS to try to grind, all y'all go to in season. Like that's what they're saying. And so although that's been the case for many seasons, I think this is bigger, especially. I also think we have to remember we're probably gonna get an MLS comp too. So that also can boost
Yeah,
our
I haven't lost comp.
I'm saying like a
Nope.
special weekly.
I don't think we're getting a special comp.
Are we
since
not?
We have our own league now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we still
They
have
they haven't said that.
we still have the beat the game aspect and stuff like that. And so people are going to see that they can
Yeah.
sort of play the game without competing against anybody and still win cash using MLS cards. And so I think that will drive prices up.
What
But
do you guys think the multiplier is on classic cards right now to in season?
Well, with how low classic cards are right now, it's going to be a ton.
Like I think a Gazan the first day they're like what's a Gazan right now? Like 30
Well,
bucks.
I'm saying after it
26
stabilizes.
bucks, yeah.
After it
That's it.
like not the one of like premiums, right? But after it
Yeah.
stabilizes,
Three
you think
X.
3x? I think there's no way. There's no way that it's 3x. I think it's at least 5.
I think you have to realize though,
Like,
that MLS
All these
has-
cards are like $5. Like they're gonna be at least $25 easily.
I think the average will be 3.
So I'm obviously more towards Thomas's excitement than how Chris feels. The reason I'm not all the way there with Thomas is that our essence is still mixed. Like I want it to be separated, and then I would 100% save.
Yeah, that is something that bugs me. That like, let's say I have this week where I get 50 contender essence and I get 50
Yes.
MLS essence, and then I have this basically crapshoot of like, do I get a tier 3 J League player or a tier 3 MLS player? I'd obviously want one over the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
that's kind of
forgot.
kind
I
of the other
forgot that
problem.
it's still mixed, even though it's like separate. It still kind of mixes when you go to craft it, right?
Yep.
They
Yeah.
need to change
So,
that.
so I guess what you could do if you want to be strategic about it is like open your MLS boxes first and then crap with
boxes.
that. Or sorry, yeah, not boxes. Crap.
You just get it. Just get it.
Yeah.
They just like blam right in your face.
Just craft something and then trade it for an MLS in season is basically like
Yeah.
So I was also curious if when you joined the platform, gauged your interest on this, because I joined in mid 2023, didn't really play MLS seriously until this last season, and I only play limited. So I'm kind of excited. But Chris has been here 2 years longer than me and plays higher stakes. But then Alex is bummed, and I just looked it up. He joined in 2023 as well. But Thomas is excited. He might be here longer than all of us. So
when did you start, Thomas?
I think technically 2020, but I had no idea what I was doing. I just bought all my favorite players like Alex
Yeah.
Ring and Nagby.
Yeah,
and
that's how I started.
basically no one that actually scored well. And
Yeah.
then I was like, and then it just like the game took off. And I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I'm about to list some of my classic cards that don't have a good collection score. When at the same time, I'm going to say, I think Alex said, don't buy classic cards. Like, The game is set up now to where you buy
Everybody's
in
going to
season.
do that. I
And
mean, as low as the
know.
prices were, they're going to go even lower now.
Yes.
I know.
Not a
But-
good thing. That doesn't mean you buy, Jorge. That means you
No,
save
it
your
does
money and
not.
buy in season. Don't
That
think
means
that
you
the
never buy that
they're,
again.
they're low for a reason.
If you don't sell it
All
by
right.
the end of the season, you just throw it in the garbage. Like, it's worthless.
Sell it by
And that's
league
the
scope.
problem. Like, if it's 5x, even if it's 3x, you're guaranteed at the end of the year to lose 66% of your value. If it's 3x, like, you're guaranteed to have that drop. Every single year, you're paying that premium, hoping to just get money back. It's just a straight, can you win enough cash to win back the money that you were guaranteed to lose now?
I looked up how much
And-
my sporting collection cost. I didn't win a thing last year. Let's just say that. Like, I genuinely did not win a single dollar with my sporting
Wow.
collection last year. So yeah, the losing your money thing, I've already done that. So
Yeah,
continue.
but
Yeah.
Didn't they beat Orlando or DC?
yeah, like 3-0. And
I played Johnny Russell as my captain, and he was the only guy that didn't get it decisive. Let's not talk about it.
I love it. No, and honestly, like we do see it on the NBA side. We were looking at card prices the other day. Like they are in the dumpster, like already. Like not even All-Star break and the NBA
Yeah.
in-season prices. And you bring up a good point where like we knew this, and it was always buy new cards of the new season. And back then it was like, oh, you get a 5% bonus if you buy an in-season card. Do you remember that? Like that was all we got. There's your extra 5%. Congratulations. And we did it anyway. And then another thing is like back then we used to always say there's never going to be enough rewards for millions of users. Like that's never going to be a thing. So like now the more and every year, the more and more and more that they push in season, people are going to get tired. People are going to get old of it. And look, realistically, there's just not a lot of money. Okay. Eventually you run out of cash and you can't do things. So you go out, you buy mediocre players because you're out of cash. You have a terrible experience. You lose all your money. You don't win anything. And all of a sudden everything sours and you don't want to be here. I think Mike Basson said it over like earlier. It's like, yeah, you basically have to get a new crop of people to basically sucker in just to keep the game alive. And then there's us who I'm going to degen into all your cheap classic cards that nobody wants because we ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be very strategic. There's going to be the people like the Pranksies who scoop up every single one of the big players day one. And if you want to get an ROI without breaking the bank, you're going to have a lot of strategy and a little bit of luck.
A lot of luck. Injuries are a thing. Rotation
Yeah,
is a thing.
right.
Like, even if you have the best players, like Alex, Kansas City was only good one time, but he just didn't play the right stack that one time. It's like even
I
if
played
you
the
have
right
good
stack.
players-
I didn't captain the right person. I hit like 420. But that was when scores were absurd. Like at that point last year, like I won
$25 at the hot streak.
I won
See?
a cool 3 essence that week with 420 points.
3 essence.
Hey, you get 5 probably if you were in tier 1.
See,
That's big.
Why
That's
y'all
big. 5
complaining?
essence?
We're on the way up. It's more than 3. Get the math be mathin'. I don't know what you want me to say.
So it'll take me 4 seasons to get 1 T5. Yes,
Yeah.
we're getting there.
The idea
be
here is
early
be
for.
consistent. Don't have one good week, I guess.
So share my screen for a second. I wanna talk just this in-season prize pool first. And y'all can tell me if I'm totally crazy, because again, I'm the newest Sorare player here. So I tried to basically make a value of how much money would I need to put in to have a good in-season gallery. And this may seem a little aggressive, but let's just say I win the bottom dollar value in D2 or D3 with all 3 of my lineups. That's $9 in a week. And I'm going to round up to 10 for easy math.
So you're finishing
Thank you.
top
Thank you.
50 every week in all your lineups with no injuries, no
Top 200
rotation.
in one of them.
And so I'm going low because hopefully other times I win big. But I'll walk through all
But
this.
I think
So
you're
let's
going
just
way
say-
too high. That's my thing. I think you're
But so
way
let's say
overestimating
I
the
win.
consistency.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll definitely agree with that. But let's just say I think I can win $10 a week, whether it be one lineup that hits 10 or 3 lineups that hit $3. And we have 30 to 35 weeks. Do y'all think $300 to $350 is a reasonable competitive in-season limited gallery? I don't know how the math works for rare.
See, I think that's way too much. I think it's
Oh.
way too much.
But
I mean,
You're going to have rotation. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have Like you're just gonna captain the wrong guy sometimes, and you're talking about $10 a week with 3 lineups. Even if you're in D1, you're gonna have to finish at least one of those in the top 50 every single week in limited. That's a lot. That's big finishes.
You got to also add maybe the beat the game aspect too in the streaks. Like
Yeah,
top
I'm not
50
including beat the game.
I would assume top 50 either you get your captain right and he gets 100, or you keep a clean sheet.
Are we still doing the 50% captain bonus?
Yes.
Yeah. So you still got you got to get that right first.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, he's got to have 100. Or else
I would
you're
say
out.
that or your goalkeeper and defender both hit like really solid clean sheets.
Like,
But if your captain has a 30, you just
Yeah, I
drop
mean, your captain
100
still
points
has,
against
like,
everybody else.
Your captain still
Yeah.
has like 70 points or something like that, right? But
Minimum.
maybe they don't hit the 100. But yeah, for top 50, I still think, like, let's say that's probably still easily over 400 points. Probably over.
and then add in the collection bonus for whoever goes for the full 5%.
That's fair. Honestly, I think the way to play Sorare now is because I'm, like I said, I'm selling my classic cards with under 3, maybe under 4% collection score. Is I think you build however many you want, 1 to 4 or 5 collections a year with big players, T1s and stars, and then those are your classic cards for the future years. And it's just a matter of how much do you win that year to be able to spend the next year, or if you treat this like your fun money and you put some in every year.
Yeah, and I think
That's what it is. It's entertainment at this point. Like
Yeah.
you can't get your money back out.
no. This
Whatever
is a
you're
game,
putting
this is a
in
hobby.
you're putting it in.
Well,
I think you
Hoodwink is
should
a
always,
winner.
I think you
He
should
thinks
always
it's
be
a
playing
winner.
like that. I know there's some people that don't play like that. You know, they're treating
Yeah.
this like Vegas, right, where they're trying to make it a profession. But I think for the majority of people that play this, that you should be saying, "I'm playing a game that I have a chance to win money, but don't put in what you don't expect to get." Don't expect to
Sora's
get
taken
out.
way too big a cut. The house advantage is way too big to be able to realistically churn a profit. So this is Kai Wagner, right? So put this up for a second.
Yeah.
Just to show consistency and like how hard this is. If he's doing these like mid 60s, 50s, like these are all like that kills your lineup right there. Just the 156, you're not finishing in the top 50, no matter where he is, if he's your captain or not. This is a star. Like this is the best defender there is, and having a decent season. He's a 61 average. All of these lineups, like you got to hit at least 70. So half these weeks, he's the one disqualifying your lineup. You got 5 of those. So like you got to hit all 5 of those in a given week. You got to have a captain where he hits like 85 plus, right? Like it's really
That was
hard
Brian
to
White's chart.
consistently. Yeah, right. It's really hard to consistently get 5 guys that all get decisives or 40 AA.
Yeah.
Like it's just, especially in this
But
league.
let me give you this one. And on your consistency thing, the reality is that this is the greatest league in the world, baby. This is Major League Soccer. So ain't nobody consistent. So the reality is that a lot of weeks you're going to be able to get away with not the top scorers because nobody else is going to have them. Because this
But
stupid little
somebody
chaotic
is going
league
to
that we
have
love.
all the top scorers.
I mean, sure. Yeah, someone's going to get the
Every
perfect
week-
combination.
Every
of
week
course.
there's somebody that, you know, Kai has a bad game, but Brooks Lennon has a good game. And there's going to be, especially at limited, everybody's going to have a combination that's a little bit different that's going to hit. And you only need 50 combinations before you're out of that $10 a week. And that's if you're in D1. If you're at lower, then you're even worse off.
That's why you just win the 1,000 one time. I do, Thomas. You were going to say something. Do you have
That's
something?
one
to-
way.
Yes.
No?
I forgot what I was going to say
Okay.
now.
I have
come
something
back
to say
to it.
too.
Okay, go ahead, Alex.
No, Daniel has something. Go with him.
Oh,
You're
okay.
listening.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I'm just going to ask a quick question. Again, I don't play rare. Should rare hot streaks be worth 4 times the limited? Because everyone is exactly 4 times the dollar amount.
That's about the case. I mean, that's honestly, like, I would say when you look at rare prices, they're about 4 times limited.
Okay.
It's not a 10x. It's even though it's 10 times
Yeah.
less.
Go ahead, Alex, and then I do want to hit up what Philly Dilly's been dropping knowledge in the chat, boy. So I want to hit that soon. But Alex, what you got?
I was just going to talk about sort of what Chris was touching on about the trying to match up the decisives. Since they've sort of switched to the way the gameplay has been happening, that's sort of what you've been having to do. For me, I've been playing Contender, La Liga, Challenger Europe all off season, and that's sort of how it's been. Is I need to match up. Basically, I need 4 of my 5 guys to get decisives, but I also need to have a clean sheet in there. So like that's how it's been gameplay wise in Sorare for like the past few months of me playing. So I don't think that's that big of a switch from what we've already been seeing. It's just switched over to MLS, even though it is frustrating. Like that's how it always has been. And I also think with the captain thing, I think MLS has some of the best smashers in the entire just the game in general. And so I think picking that captain won't be as difficult as some other places are. And I think that that won't be as big of a problem. It will obviously take you out, but it's like if you have like if Puj was healthy, you would captain Puj. If Bouanga has a home matchup against someone trash, you captain him. If you got Ryan Gould and Brian White's healthy, you go Ryan Gould. It's just stuff like that. I think the captain stuff won't be as difficult, and with the gameplay again, just the decisive matchup. That's just how it's been.
Even given what we're talking about, right? Even if we say 300, 350 is a decent price, if you're going to get Bouanga, he's already classic right now, $12. We're saying it's 3x. We're expecting at least 30, $35. You're only getting 10 of these guys. You're not going to fill out 3 teams. Like there's no way. You just don't have enough.
Off of what budget?
So he's saying he's going to put 350 into limited.
Okay, gotcha.
He's not going to get 3 teams of stars. Like he's not going to get Bouanga, Puj across the board for 3 teams, and that doesn't give you any room for injuries and that kind of thing as well. So you always need a little bit of flexibility with injuries and guys getting hurt, guys get red cards, whatever. But if we expect 3x, which I think is still conservative, to be fair, maybe at limited it might be 3x, but rare for sure. It's at least 5, in my opinion. Like Bouanga's 35. Once it stabilizes, he might start at like 50, 60 and then come down. I can't see how you're going to win $50 back with 1 card. Like you need 5 of those. You need 1 lineup that's $250. There's no way. Even when it comes down to 30, 1 lineup with $150. That seems really, really tough, which is why I would stay away from the big dogs. I would go much, much, much cheaper. I would wait for the prices to flatten and take guys that are underrated, that are $1, $2, and see if you can scratch out a couple T3s throughout the season, basically.
So have good strategy, right?
Yeah. Kind of I'm going that good strategy thing. Be good at the game.
Exactly.
I think you're kind of on the money, Chris, but at the same time, I think you're wrong. And like something that I learned from doing this in NBA, because I went pretty hard in season for NBA, is that at the beginning, you have your plan, you have your good strategy at the very beginning, you know your targets, you use that initial 350 to go all out. You get those smashers, and those become the core of your season. All right. Whoever you decide to want to get your smash from midfielder, forward, whatever. That is the core for your season. Those are the guys that you're going, hey, these are the guys that I trust to carry me throughout the year. And then unfortunately, the reality is, which is what makes Chris so mad, is that you have to keep putting more money in. And as the season goes on, as someone gets hurt, if someone breaks out, someone like that, you go in and you scoop them for way cheaper because prices are already down.
Someone just has a bad season.
The initial hype is good. And then you're in the market, you're scouting, you're watching games, you're seeing these things, you're catching these things, and you're buying it for way cheaper, and you're filling in the holes as the season goes on. And that way, one, you're basically dollar cost averaging into the Sorare season. So you're not initially just blowing a bunch of money at the beginning and then just running into injuries or rotations or just losing positions, stuff like that. And then you kind of ease in as the rest of the season, you fill out the eventual 3 teams. But I think you're at a huge advantage at the beginning, just getting that core strategy, picking your guys, and just going all in at the beginning. And then, yeah, unfortunately, you kind of got to keep putting
you gotta hold some in reserve,
or you win with the core and then you still build out.
You can get lucky too. That's true.
Yeah. Yes, Alex.
I'm raising my hand. Sorry, I thought I was in class still. So I just wanted teacher picked on me. Chris has been talking a lot about prices and sort of like what it's going to look like, and the multiplier. I think we've been talking about that a little bit. I just have a little example. We've been talking about this for a little bit, but I saw Franco Armani, newer Argentina keeper, one of the better keepers in Contender in general. His price for floor is sitting around $7, and his rare floor is sitting around 40, and then last sale around 50.
So
For
that's
new
a 4x. That's a
For
4x.
new season, that's 169. Well, it's more like
Well,
120.
118.
118
Yeah,
at last sale
120,
average. So here we'll show
For
the
30.
graph. So like 118 last auction, and then for limited 30, so that's like 4x, just above 4x. Similar keeper, similar age, similar prices. Stephen Fry at 56 floor price, common or classic, and $9 floor price. So, and he's one of the best keepers in this division too. I would
he
think
was last year. He's also 38.
Yeah, but age for keepers isn't as horrible in the MLS as it is.
Yeah, that's true.
He also keeps a lot of clean sheets, and that's been the case for him his in like past few years with Seattle. So for one of the better keepers, just based on previous pricing, Fry should be around $35. Limited and rare should be around based on the 3x multiplier 150, 160 bucks for rare. So, and that's just if we see similar pricing to other divisions. But we don't know what it's going to look like.
Paid $400 for a classic rare Gayese like a year and a half ago. So
Let's go.
that sounds pretty good, man. I'm in.
And I'll say too, this is kind of the last. This is the first year that we'll have MLS cards prior to the start of the season, which means that if you've actually done your research and you know of some players that you feel like are going to boom, or you've watched really great streams like Sorare in the States.
My dog.
Wait, that's this stream.
Hold up.
Wow. Then you might have you'll have that advantage. There's going to be people. There we go. There's going to be people who are like me, who, for example, whenever I first started playing, I was like, I had no idea what I was doing, and I was like, oh look, this K-League midfielder, he might be good, and then he just don't ever want to bring up that price chart, but it's not great. And so there are lots of those players still, and because all of us have been playing this game for multiple years now, at least I believe. Obviously, I think we have this view of, oh man, well, everyone knows everything. The reality is, everyone doesn't know everything. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. That's because that's why it's a game.
Winners watch over in the States.
The hard part, especially at limited, is that there's so many people that even if people don't know everything, everybody's going to get lucky every now and then.
Yeah.
And you're competing against so many people getting lucky.
But you can't have just really absolute garbage strategy. Like you can't realistically don't pick up Insigne, right? Like he's about to go to Turkey, right? But there's going to be people that don't know that he's about to go to Turkey and are like, hell yeah, man, that guy smokes 50 cigs a day and scores goals.
Hell yeah, gonna dump my bags on him.
Can't say ethical hoops.
God, trading is just such an ethical nightmare. Yeah, no, I agree. Like at the end of the day, there's always going to be winners and losers, and some people just aren't as good at this game as they think they are, and
like me.
That's mostly me.
And from my view, the winners here are Sorare, and the losers are everyone who plays Sorare.
Hey, but we're
Sorare about to make a lot of profit, though. I'll give them that.
Franksy wins too. Don't forget, Franksy wins too.
Their investors are gonna be real happy. I'll give them that.
You're about to get a cease and desist order. You're about to get a cease and desist order, and they'll be like, "You have to only call us in the States."
Yeah, stop using our logo.
It was fun when it lasted. I'm with Scott here that weekly scouting and planning is very key, especially in season. I think that goes underrated. People don't talk about that a lot. That streaming in the players of the week and stuff like that, and finding them before everybody else does. It is very possible, but it takes a lot of work. Yep. I'm definitely on that. Yeah, dude, Hoodwink, gassing this up. If he can win cash fairly regularly in season,
yeah, but Hoodwink's brilliant. Nobody's Hoodwink.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
He follows Seattle. He knows what's up.
Daniel, how are you feeling about your 350 investment now? Have you decided what you're going to do yet? Did any of this help you at all, or are you just more confused?
I agree that I think there's a higher likelihood that it doesn't get me 3 good in-season lineups. I've come to terms with that. But in the initial teams that I put together that I want to build, they're not all stars. I tried to really target some T1s that I think can overperform maybe even some T2s that can overperform. So I sort of get what Chris is saying about you can still do well with crap.
Yeah.
But like once you start hitting T3, I don't think you're going to win much.
Yeah,
I think
I
you're going to
would
win
agree with
XP
that.
maybe.
I would agree with that.
Unless
Yeah.
he's super under.
I think you can find some T2s that are pretty cheap though, to be fair. So I think
Okay.
that's the real strategy.
Anybody who was watching Sorare in the States from the beginning of last season would have been on Luca Oriano real quick, but y'all stayed sleeping.
That is the fun part of MLS is every single season there are guys like that just nobody sees coming. So if you know, like Thomas said, if you're good at the game, you do have an advantage, which you don't really have as much in Challenger because you can just blind play the Celtic stack and off you go.
PSV.
Or PSV.
Blind, any of these guys. So yeah, I used to be Ajax a couple years ago. You could just blind play them and you were good.
Then they
So
sold
it does
everybody.
take some more skill now, at least.
Yeah,
I'm so glad to be out of Challenger.
So
me too.
I hate it so
I have
much.
another thing about the hot streaks. What do y'all think about how they set up hot streaks to where only one of your 3 lineups, like so if I put 3 lineups of 5 full in-season cards, I can only get the hot streak once. What do y'all think about that?
I'm cool with it.
I don't think you're gonna hit that
I don't
multiple times in a week.
If I have a week like that, I'm
That's
already
right.
dancing.
Yeah.
Icing on top of the cake right there.
It's true. And I didn't read this until like early on in the stream. If you scroll down, those market credits are only good for 14 days, not 30
Oh
days.
yeah, they cut it in half. Yeah,
No.
that's lame. That's
They need
lame.
to bump that up.
We're gonna
But
give
we're
you
changing our
fake money.
strategy every week. and
Fake
giving them
money
way
that
more
you
money.
have to spend with us that you don't actually get to spend because it's just gonna expire before anything you want
I
comes
won
along.
$1 market credit today from the common competition. That's big.
Heck yeah.
Hey,
That's half off my Danny Flores for my collection. You don't know who
Who?
that is. Exactly.
who?
I'm gonna look it up.
I will say about this hot streak though. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. I think like moving up the leaderboard. But you know dang well week 1 you're gonna hit like 430 and you're gonna be pissed that you're stuck at the $3 at 380. Personally, I think that like first week when it resets, if you hit higher than that first level, like that's where you start. If you hit $400 at that first reset, that's where you start. Boom, immediately.
But it's about being
$10.
consistent. It's not about
consistent
not
to
about
get to the
one good
$100.
big week.
Yeah,
know?
you still got to be consistent to get 450, 420.
Or you could just hit 450 in the
weeks.
first week and then you're good. By
Yeah,
by
do that,
logic.
bro.
There you go. Yeah, just do that.
It should be that way.
That's easy. Why are we even doing
I
the
know.
show? Just do that.
I know it's like what ifs, but what if they did something like, say, I had 2 lineups that hit above 380. What if they gave me 2 weeks to try to hit 390? Like, I don't know. Throw us something, but they're going to start.
Yeah.
They're going to start however they're going to start.
I like that. I like that.
Free
It's
spin.
interesting. Yeah. Does anybody have any strong opinions about this hot streak? Or you
I have a hot take. I don't think anybody's gonna hit level 5.
wow.
Ever?
I don't think
in
anybody
history?
is gonna hit level 5 in
Wow.
the same lineup every single week. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Dude, my sporting
still
stack
will
week
do it.
dude, week 5 after we smash everybody, you're gonna be looking real dumb.
I don't think anyone hits it till August.
If someone does hit it, I'd love for them to like message me, like show me.
Come on the
proof.
show.
Come on the show. Tell us how you did it. We will worship at your feet and ask you questions.
I think I'm less likely to play a classic card in an in-season lineup if I somehow start climbing. Like,
Mm.
if I'm at the bottom tier and I have 2 classic cards with good matchups, I'm going to play 2 lineups with 4 in-season and 1 classic. And just hope that my third lineup with all 5 in-season hits. But if I somehow get to like the 3rd tier, I'm going to make sure I have 15 in-season cards, which Chris is probably going to say is so rare winning because then I might buy a card.
The house always wins. Doesn't matter what
It's
you're
like,
doing.
You're not wrong.
I like Bob's metaphor, Yahtzee.
Yeah. Get each of the 5 and 5 different
Yeah.
weeks. There you go.
Yeah, that seems a little more reasonable.
That would
'cause,
be
like,
actually, I like that a lot. Actually, hold
yeah,
on.
that seems more reasonable. But I don't think anyone's gonna have had 4 great weeks in a row and then bang a 450 and limit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you have to like perfectly hit those thresholds 5 weeks in a row. Like that is asking for a lot.
You're not banging 450.
Yeah,
every
Bob
week.
Rankin just has all the knowledge. 2 good teams, 1 crap team to farm XP. That's right. Sounds like my Footium team. Oof. But all right, I do.
coming soon.
Yeah, it was supposed to be tonight, but did emergency pod. Shout out to everyone who's been hanging out in the chat. Shout out to everyone watching this thing before and or after. You guys are incredible. I do want to go back in this because Philly Dilly did the work. Okay, it's not just Thomas. We got Philly Dilly in here now too. He's playing around with Sorare Data Concepts Builder and ran some numbers. The Seattle stack hits 380 about 33% of the time. The LA Galaxy is the same. Now, the best possible team of Puig, Peck, Messi, Kalina, and Wagner hits about 2/3 of the time. So, if that goes to tell you, pretty tricky. You made a watch list of the top 20 MLS players in every position for 3. With some backups coming to the price, just about 1K last March. So, assuming that you got a return more than that, just to break even for 3 lineups, about 1K.
What is y'all's take on playing fixture runs versus trying to play for an entire season? Because me personally, I'm targeting the first 8 fixtures, and then I'm willing to, once we get halfway through that, maybe start looking at the next 8 fixtures.
I think that's just best case. Like the whole like Sorare opportunity index thing just uses the next 5 fixtures to basically, and that's, I think if you were to take pick scores right and just expand pick scores into a 5-week window, then that's kind of the same thing, right? You're playing fixtures. Yeah, I unless you're collecting,
that's true.
or you're getting a big someone that you just know are going to be great for the whole year, like a Vander. I'm just going to say, but assuming he stays here, yeah, you have to be playing fixtures.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, maybe play like international break. Maybe like what, every month and a half we get an international break. Just
like you're not going all in on Montreal. Maybe you are. Maybe you're not. Yeah,
I'm not supposed to say that.
Hold on. Yeah, the coach is going to unfollow me.
You love it. I love Caitlin Clark or Caden Clark.
You love his mom, bro?
No, that's the basketball player.
I love her too. It's okay.
I love all the Clarks.
Oh my god,
all Clarks matter.
But maybe let's say Montreal has a rough go of it because they have 7 games beginning. You could probably pick up those cards for cheap.
Yeah, but a lot of it's like we're still speculating anyway because we just don't know. We don't even know how many people are going to be playing in these things. That's another unknown.
Yeah.
Did people just look at this today and listen to PSU saying that everything is trash and now they don't want to play anymore? Like, I hope so.
Maybe that's his strategy to eliminate competition. He seems like he's kind of sneaky. I can see him doing that.
We figured it out.
Deke's in here dropping it too. Yeah, a little MLS insider trading over here. Like, yeah, dude, boo.
Look at PSU's.
Everybody go after all the auctions. Do it.
Yeah, well, Chris showed up to the pre-meeting for this show, really happy about this, and we said, "Nah, Chris, you got to be the one. You got to be the one to shut it down, all right? You got to be the one to turn everybody away. You got to take one for the team."
You're the most convincing. You make them believe that this sucks. Yeah,
exactly. It sucks so much. Go ahead, Daniel.
I was just going to say one of my favorite Sorare in the States episodes is when Chris was singing to all the U23 players phasing out. So I thought he was going to come in singing that song again.
Oh, I remember that. It was like everybody in the league besides Jesus Ferreira phased out, and we had like an in memoriam.
I don't remember you or something.
Dude, I was gonna make the greatest short for that too, and I just never got around to it. But maybe we'll do it this year for all the non U23s that are aging out this year because there's like none.
He's teasing it.
But since this MLS drop sucks so much, who is going to degen on February 11th? Next Tuesday, baby, we get the new card drop. And guess what? There's a 5% chance to win a second card for free.
You get a 5% chance at a T5. Heck yeah.
We love you.
The higher the quality of the card you buy, the greater your chance of winning a higher quality card for free. Instead of having one Chrissy MLS card guy, you could have 2. Who says no to that?
So Sorare definitely read my messages because I was one of those people who was saving up boxes. So I opened them all up. Was it like 3 or 4 weeks ago? And I got $30 worth of market credits, and they expire on the 15th. So I'm gonna get my one of Petter Musa. I'm gonna get my one of Martin Paz, and hopefully at least spend that.
And then
Even
cry
with
for the rest of
market
the
credits, you're still gonna lose money at the end of the year. Like,
It's a collectible, okay? That's his
so
favorite
annoying.
team. You don't lose if you don't sell and hold it forever.
That's true. It's not a loss till you sell.
Yep. You don't lose till you sell, baby.
I'm not gonna buy the entire Atlanta stack to begin with. I'm gonna buy a couple of players, and then I'm gonna
Big
wait
fan.
for the. And then I know.
Fake.
Well, because I bought the entire Atlanta stack last year and they were shit, so I got to do the opposite.
I
Tell it
wanna
to the last
say-
5
Oh,
years.
now
of
they're
shitty
good, so
collections.
now you buy them.
No, I would jinx it.
Yes. Okay, I'll buy them.
How much do you guys think the price drops after February 21st, 10 days in, when this promo runs out
Like
and you can't
30%.
get new stuff?
30%.
We can see this. I'll pull up a card.
Yeah, pull up
See-
Argentina.
See,
pull up
I
the
think
Christmas
Here we
I
special.
go.
think there maybe is some
favorite example.
argument to waiting till after that promo ends.
My
and
favorite
maybe
example.
kinda scoop very early.
Lucas Martinez Cuarta. You can see the drop right here.
Ooh.
So he went from $36 Instabuy down to $14 auction.
And this is my exact
And
argument.
and these are his scores from the start of the season.
Oh,
And
okay.
and yes, I own the one of. I'm sorry, but that's just immediately who I thought of. Like just seeing
Yeah.
this.
But this is why I'm so happy that they're giving us the option to craft for most of those cards, because there's just the market at the beginning and the price pools at the beginning are just absolute
So much poopy.
crapshoots.
Yeah.
Like, you all remember, and I think this is the thing too, this is going to be the benefit, is that you now have a lot more control over when you decide to pull from the pool. So then think about last year when Fry was hurt and Thomas was, for his first name, was in the goal. And then we all knew that Fry was going to be back
Andrew.
1 week, right? But I think the backup keeper was still in the tier 2 pool.
Yeah.
So if I know that and I see that, I'm going to be like, heck no, I'm not crafting this week. I'm going to wait till that guy gets kicked down to tier 3, tier 4 pool or whatever before I use my craft and use all this essence that I built up. Versus
one goalkeeper from each team's going to get hurt all year, and you'll be like, well, I can't craft anything all year.
well, then I get my Messi, all right?
Except that it's a Paul Marie because somebody got hurt and he winds up rising in price, and you don't get Messi. But
He
you
scored
get
4 goals in 1 game, and he's a tier
Exactly.
2, which will happen.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, and like Thomas has a point. I mean, that's like Sorare literally said that themselves. They literally said this means
They
managers
said-
have more control. They can choose to accumulate essence and work toward higher tier rewards, or use it earlier to craft T5s and T4s. They said that it's in your hands, buddy. I don't want to hear no complaints. You
They
pulled the
basically-
trigger.
They basically said we can't solve the prize pool problem, so we're just going to let you solve
We're
it.
going to
for
make it be
yourself.
your fault instead of ours. Yeah.
So Jorge, I know most people probably hate seeing a spreadsheet, but let me just show this for a second because it may answer Chris's question.
Oh, we love spreadsheets on the show.
I looked up kind of the biggest champion players, La Liga and Bundesliga, since those were league specifics. And so I did the high of the in-season price and the low of the in-season price and compared it to the classic. And within the first few weeks of the season, the in-season got within sometimes the same value, maybe 150% of the classic. So I think you are right. If it's anything like that, I think the prices can come down pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They
they'll come
typically do.
down, but keep in mind 200% is 3x. 100%
No,
is
no.
2x.
No, sorry. No, this is like 1.2 times. If
Show me
I
that formula.
said that.
Yeah, Thomas wants the data.
I'm just kidding.
So
You're speaking a different language to me, so I don't know. I mean, dude. I mean, either way, you see it all the time. Like the premiums always look. They come out hot, then they drop. Whoever has the balls to catch a falling knife usually ends up victorious, but then they don't sell anyway. And then they just watch it fall off a cliff, and they're like, this game sucks. It's like, well, yeah, you did it. It's all about picking your spots with your strategy.
Yeah. Do you think more or less people are likely to want to play summer MLS if they're normally playing other leagues that don't play during the summer?
Less. I think a lot of people play over the summer to get challenger stuff to play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
there's
think
no
it's gonna be
challenger
less as
cards.
well.
There was no challenger cards last summer because they changed it to where you only get cards for the teams playing that week.
I think it's going to be less because you can't use your MLS cards in European Challenger.
Well, people played it for in season for cash, like during.
I was about to say in season, like hot streak. Maybe they're gonna get bored and they're gonna see all of us having a great time playing MLS Sorare,
frolicking,
frolicking in the fields of Major League Soccer, and they're all gonna degen. Especially, I still say that I think they lowballed it at the beginning, just to test the waters, and I think they do have a plan to up it. Like they've shown that they will adjust if they need to, and obviously. Judging from the mixed sentiment, like at the launch of this, like they could easily fix it. They can easily fix it. I think that's what they wanted.
I think they've adjusted pretty much on every launch. When I've looked across game weeks, they've adjusted every single prize pool. They've never stuck with what was in the original game week.
Yeah. So hopefully they just kind of let us off easy, just to build us up later, just to eventually change the goalposts and then bring us down once again.
Yeah, I mean we are the testing ground now for soccer, for new competitions. Like this is what they're doing.
They get to
now.
test it over the summer so that they can see if it works or not for Europe, which is their main product.
Yeah, which honestly, like from a business standpoint, that makes more sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, makes total sense. I get why they're doing everything they're doing. I'm not questioning their business decisions.
Doesn't mean you have to like it.
I'm questioning what it means for me.
Once again, selfishly, in your own selfish interest.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad your business is doing great,
I'm
but
not
my
playing
wallet
this game
is suffering.
for Sorare's benefit. I'm playing this game for my benefit.
All right, let's we're at an hour here. Let me hit on one more thing, and then we could hit on anything else you guys got left, and then we go, because this is actually pretty fun. I don't mind this. Obviously, when divisions were first introduced, people were pissed because they got placed by Sorare, and of course, like everybody always, they felt like they deserved more. They felt like their gallery was supposed to be in Div 1. Why did they get 2 or 3? Well, guess what? That's over, baby, because now we have the MLS division battle. Let's go. Brace yourselves. Sorare says it's going to be big. So for the first MLS game week, February 21st through 25, Orlando City's playing Philly at home, baby. Run those stacks. Hell yeah. No, we're bad. The first game week, basically, I know. Everybody's going to go into the same leaderboard, one leaderboard, no divisions. It's a free-for-all. Everybody gets put in. And then based on your results in that first game week, you will be placing your division the top 25%. It's going straight to Division 1. The top 25 to 75%. And your team is getting placed in Div 2. And outside the top 75%, your team is going in Division 3. Chris, since you're going to be deep in the in-season streets, how much are you going to spend to get into Division 1 week 2?
Thomas, what is the hardest week to predict for DNPs and rotation? The whole season.
Midweeks.
I would say week 1. Like, you never know. You never really know where a coach is going to go for their opening day lineup. I mean, you can get some idea from preseason, but there's always a little bit of like that. Who's the starter at this position type of thing. I mean, it's not going to affect the big smashers.
That's on you if you play those 50-50s.
Yeah, if
those June, summer, midweek.
Just like the big smashers, but there's going to be a bunch of people that play people that are like okay that are just going to DNP, and they're just going to sit straight to Division 3.
Too bad.
and don't
I'm like, all right, you made the choice.
It's blind
sucks to suck, nerd.
Surprise, Gabriel Peck DNP first week. We're like, and all of us go to Div 3.
How much injury news is there out there? Like,
well, do you think they're going to? Because there's still, I remember, was it Nico? He liked a tweet talking about having variable windows for various competitions.
Oh, like rolling locks.
Yeah. My personal opinion, I would only like to have basically after the first game goes, that's when the lock happens for the entire league. So
First MLS game kicks off at like,
and by then we would
competition.
have because that's the issue, right? Is that we don't necessarily
you don't
have
know the press
game day.
conference.
Well, they have the injury reports that they're required to put out, and they always change every year. So maybe it might be something new this year, but they would always come out after the lock, and so that would be, I think, the best thing they could add, right? Is just have it to where for the MLS comp, it's 3 p.m. Friday or 7 p.m. Friday or whatever the first game is, and that way everyone can avoid that if they're paying the right amount of attention. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, we don't even know what those are going to look like this year, the injury reports, because like I said, it used to be that some teams would do them, some teams wouldn't. No, some teams was, they used to be Thursday, but some teams would, some teams wouldn't do them. Like some teams would just give up mid-season. and then they made it to where all teams have to consistently report on Friday after Messi joined the league, of course. And so I'm guessing that it's going to be Friday, but it's probably going to be after lock for all the teams.
Well, it looks like they're pushing Friday night games this year too, so maybe they'll force the league to release them on Thursday again.
Oh, that's a good point.
So maybe they'll get pushed a day earlier because there will be Friday night games.
Yeah, so at that
Friday
point
night
you'll at
push,
least have your
Sunday.
50-50s. And there's going to be the people that there's still going to be the slipped on the sideline and tore their whatever and all that nonsense, but
they got hurt ironing a shirt on their body.
Every time
that happened once. John Smoltz. John Smoltz was out for a little while because he was ironing a shirt that he had on and he burned his
Shout out to Bob hanging out till 2 a.m. I love it.
That's a good idea. Is steam it? Yeah.
Chris, why did you think this division thing was a terrible idea?
Because I just think week 1 is the most volatile week. Like it's really hard to see who's going to start in all these teams.
Nah, get over it.
Nah, you had like 5 months to prepare for this 1 week. Like,
I've had my Sporting KC lineup prediction in for the last 2 months.
I think all 4 of Atlanta's starting defenders are currently hurt, is what I think I read.
What, Gregerson's hurt again, bro? Crazy.
I don't know. It was someone said I think it might be a knock. Lennon, obviously, yeah. Amador has a hammy. I think he should be back soon now.
Oh, hey, wait, say that louder so his price comes down.
Yeah, I wish.
Amador has a hammy.
Amador is done for the season.
Done for the season, Amador.
Don't wish that. That's so rude.
Bro, I'm just trying to get cheap cards, bro.
He's trying to.
You're going to get Mario Rui anyways.
Hell no.
The perfect so rare swindler.
I have something else I'd like to cover.
Oh
yes, Chris.
Can you share my screen?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
What the heck? What the heck happened out here? Tigres losing.
Oh no.
Well, they lost. I mean, it's over. It was last night.
Cup. It was
last night. Real Esteli.
They're from Guatemala, Nicaragua.
Guatemalan Giants, dude.
Guatemala massive, dude.
Yeah, they were the only league open during COVID, so that's how I actually know this team is because they just stayed playing during COVID, which is great. 15 shots to 6. They got smoked. They got smoked on the counter.
I will say, Tigres played their second team,
and they lost.
I think they only had 2 real starters in the game. Even though that's not an excuse. They should have won that game.
Esteli.
Yeah, it's CONCACAF Champions League, bro. You can't be.
They still have the return leg in Tigres. So
Tigres is gonna smoke them in the second.
Yeah, better dead. When we started this game, we loved to win cards.
You still win cards.
And the experience has gone away.
What after the cards I love?
You don't win cards anymore. You just win essence that you have to stack up into cards.
Yeah,
you win liquid. You win fizzy golden liquid that you pour into a vial.
You win like the metadata of cards, and then you can take all that
metadata,
and then you just turn it into a real card, like Pinocchio. I want to be a real card
because this is the blockchain, baby, and that's what we do. My brain is fried after all this announcement. There's just a lot of things to consider. There's still a lot of unknowns. All right, there's still a lot of speculation. We don't know how many people are going to come in. We don't know how many people are going to buy. It sounds from the likes of this that people aren't going to degen as hard anymore. So hey. There may be a chance You know, like Matt Damon says, fortune favors the brave, baby, because this is the blockchain. And we are here. Daniel, do you have anything else? Anything else to get off your chest before we get out of here and sleep on this and hope Chris wakes up better?
The only other thing I was glancing at that y'all made me think of is there's no specials for CONCACAF Champions Cup, but Alex does get to play his Sporting KC guys in game week 57 away at Miami in cap 230. That's his week.
Oh, yeah.
And when it'll fit that cap, trust me, it'll fit that cap.
The SKC stack fits perfectly like a glove in 230, bro.
Give me cap 200. and
Where's
I'll be
cap
fine.
160?
Dude, give me cap 80. I'll be fine.
While everyone's playing Messi with a bunch of bench players, hoping they come off the bench, Alex is going to be sitting there with all 5 starters. Just
Alex
Full
is
camp
actually-
captain. Who says
Alex
no?
is actually going to play NBA, and he's going to have an MVP and a 120 cap.
Exactly. Who said Dejan Joveljic, and that's it.
literally,
That's all I'm saying.
literally, that's it. That's it. Yeah, shout out to Daniel for being here. Thomas, do you have anything else to go? Hey, you want to make fun of SKC too?
No, I
what the
got
hell
a
is
couple.
this?
I actually got a couple SKC players that I'll probably sell that midweek. I don't know why I picked them up, other than they were just so freaking cheap.
Is Jake Davis one of them?
No, it's labeled and who's the that's the forward that's still there.
Frifa.
No,
Agata?
Shallowy, yeah.
Ugh.
So
It is full
Goodbye.
game season.
Goodbye.
It
It
is
is not
great.
post game
It-
season. His rare price is too high. You guys should definitely lower that so that I can pick that up.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
have Shallowy.
I should sell that. Dang.
Yeah, you should sell that to me.
No.
What?
Pulse Camp U23 for the first half of the season.
I
Ready
do
for
like
it.
Salloway.
Don't educate the people. He's already too high as it is.
Alex,
Maybe
would you
buy
like my Salloway for a bag of Doritos? Because that's what he's worth right now.
I got
Wait, what kind of Doritos?
I got bag of Funyuns and
Nope.
Lays.
Brand new
And
Doritos.
okay, I got
None of that
okay,
Aldi
I got
knockoff
Cool
brand
Ranch. I got Cool Ranch.
There we go.
Does that work?
Ship
Oh,
it
wait,
over.
I'll give you
I have
half of
Shel-
it. I'll give you
I have
half of it.
Shelton.
Only
I have-
half?
I have
Half.
Shelton. I don't think Shelton's worth a bag of Doritos.
Oh, Kyrie
It's
Shelton,
probably-
bro?
Shelton,
His
I
card's not
can
worth
give
a bag of
you.
Doritos.
I can give you.
You have a pencil eraser?
No, I'll give you.
Do you have a
coat
variety
hanger.
box right next to you?
Coat
hanger.
hanger, cool.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Coat hanger, or
Yeah. All right, it's getting a little
Yeah.
dark. He's turning to
Full
Sorare
size.
at this point.
I can give you this Band-Aid that says thou has not so much brain as earwax, because that's how I feel right now.
how about I give you this, Chris? Christian Benteke number to 10, tops chrome,
Ooh, that's like-
jersey
Oh.
match. Oh, you
I
can't see it.
like that.
I'll
like
in my part with this that Chattanooga FC plays Corpus Christi in the first round of the Open Cup. Here coming
Open
soon,
Cup is back,
Chattanooga.
baby.
So Open Cup's
Cup is
back. Atlanta's not in it, but
Boo.
Chattanooga
Yeah, only-
is.
Atlanta
Real
too.
clubs, like
Atlanta
Orlando
too?
City, play all cup competitions.
Also, Guadalajara is currently losing in the Champions Cup as well in the 13th
Ooh.
minute.
Ooh.
Very early, but
Is Polito starting? Check that.
Well, Mexico tried to buy everybody and failed, so now they all suck.
It's true.
I assume not, but
Cade Cowell.
Cade Cowell,
Ooh, locate Cal.
Luis Romo.
His
Yeah,
brother
that
took
team-
his
that's like-
jersey
that's
number
like-
at Montreal for San Jose.
At San Jose, dude. I thought he came back. I was like, is this how they're announcing him? It's just showing his
That'd've
jersey
been
right at the
sick.
end of the tweet. I was like, hold up.
That would have been
So
sick.
I looked up the roster and I was like, number 40. Oh,
Yeah. Once we digest this stuff, we're gonna hop back into our season previews. We had the ATL one planned tonight, but we had a pivot and a really focus on this new announcement. Alex, do you have anything else for these people?
just stay away from sporting. And if you want to, if you don't believe me, go back and look at my results from last season and see there are 0 United States dollars currency won last season, and this year might be a bit better, but who knows? We brought in one starter, so like
We'll see.
back
Chris.
off my guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't buy them. Chris, do you have anything else negative to say about this new?
come after my guys. Open to all offers. Let's go.
Oh, in other
Put
words,
that on your gallery tag.
Yeah. Trades at 135,000%. Yeah.
Chris, are you selling out? Are you selling up?
I don't know. Probably not. I like this game too much.
Nah, dude. It's
Wow.
like being in a
I'm
frat, man.
mad,
You pay all these
though.
dues, you hang out
I'm
with your
big
friends.
mad. I'm big mad, but I still got to play.
Yeah, I'm with Ivan, bro. All in on MLS, baby. That's why we're here at Sorare in the States. You know, we're going to keep bringing you all the MLS content, whether you like it or not, okay? You upset with the competition? Guess what? Don't play it, but still come hang out with us because some of us are funny. Okay. So come hang out. We'll be doing the things, more previews coming. And Alec, yeah, okay. It is what it is. Red or Dead, thanks for being here. Shout out to the chat for being here. And like always, do something nice for someone. Make that call. Take that leap. Make that move. Huh? Yeah, baby. We'll see you guys again soon. You guys are incredible. We'll catch you on the next one. And D-Gen of those in season hard after we all buy ours for cheap.